Okay, so news app we can create here is related to connection between Gmail and Notion. So let's say email comes to one of your Gmail account and it will create a trigger that will create one of the pages into Notion and add entry. So let's say I have this empty page. I want Zapier to create entry into one of these pages, right? So let's say if I create a table here, right? Currently we don't have any data source, right? So I will manually have to create a view there. So one is table view, but it needs data, right? So let's go with new database. Here table name is name. Then I will just rename this tag to something different. So name and say subject are the two things that we are going to add to this table. So here I will just say Gmail Zapier. So this is the page I want to connect to, and name and subject are the two entries for this particular view, right? So what I will do is I will go back to Zapier, and here I can use this create button, or I can simply use AI. So I will type in when email comes to Gmail, create a page in Zapier, sorry, Notion, and let Zapier add entry to the table view of Notion page. Now we will hit enter and it will show us one of the possible apps, right? So here you can see sync Gmail with Notion and Zapier. So new email comes, create page, create database, right? So I will try this one out. For that, however, I will have to create an account with Notion. So I will have to give access to this, right? So first thing we can create with our Gmail account, then type of email is inbox item. Continue. Initial trigger I can test, right? Now I will move to the type of email. Continue with records. Now I'll have to connect with Notion. So sign in, right? Now it will also require you to select pages, right? So here, as you can see, Gmail Zapier is where I'm going to give it access. So allow access and it will take that. Now click continue so that we can form an action, right? So the parent page here I will have to choose. We'll have to basically give it this Gmail Zapier once again. So I will just refresh this. Here you can see you are moving to the right account. I will just use Gmail Zapier, right? All results were loaded. Can manually do custom field, but here we have to see what should be the custom action there, right? And refresh the fields. Can go with clear selection, and then again all options loaded. Some reasons could be confirm you have the right account, we are already connected, so could be one of those issues, right? So this is the title issue, so I will just add from name. In the content I will add some subject, right? So these two things, name and content, and here I have to add the required field. If you don't see this, that means you have to same integration that you're using to authenticate with, right? So we will take a look at that, right? So everything looks correct to me, right? So I will try and go through this whole integration back again. So here I will use change, and we can modify. Here you can also take a look at the zaps. Currently we don't have any, just establish the connections, right? So here it is showing us off because we didn't publish it. So next thing, right? And then I will use Zapier, Gmail, Zapier. I will then click continue once it appears. Now few changes we would be doing here is basically we will add event change within Notion, which is create database item. I will click continue, and now I will just move to database here. Here you can see now the page appears Gmail Zapier. Now I will try and add one of the entry, which is from name, right? And then for subject I will add subject. Sometimes we will manually have to check and add the entries, right? You can choose the value if you want, add custom, right? So you can see, so there is option to format data, right? So we will do that. I can always remove this, can always choose the value or just keep it as is. For finally content format, I can have plain text, rest everything is required is fulfilled. So subject name can be added. So click continue, everything looks correct, test the step, right? So that step is validated. Next continue, and here we will have our Notion connection. Here let's say we created database item, we will update database item with save, continue, continue, right? And just in case if item, as you can see, will be same, then we can simply delete this step, we don't need it any further. So just two tasks are more than enough. So what we have done here is basically we are taking the email as trigger and updating Notion database. Can publish this, right? So here you can see Gmail limit has been hit. So I can always edit this and add any other email provider. So process remains the same, and you get the idea how to use Zapier, Notion with Gmail.